What's up, YouTube? I'm back. Yes, I am back here with another video. And I did a video, like, I know y'all miss me. Because I did a video, like, some days ago. But when I looked at that video, I was like, that is not me. That is not me. I cannot come back to these people not being me. You know? Oh my gosh. So this right here is basically going to be about my labor and delivery, and I'm going to upload an update too as well, just to let you know what's going on and the insights on the insights. You feel me? Because like I said, I recorded that other video about my labor and delivery story, and honey, I wouldn't have watched it, okay? All right. So, sorry about my background, honey. I got mommy things going on, okay? Mommy things going on. Just had the C-section, honey, and baby girl, I can't do it. Ain't that how you do it? Anyways, so I already see that I am almost at 200 subscribers, so I do want to thank y'all so much for subscribing and just commenting down below, just letting me know what's going on in your life, conversating with me, conversing. I love it. But enough of that. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe right now. Click that button right there with the bell, because I know y'all like it when y'all see a notification from me, okay? So, let's get to this labor and delivery. So, I had my son, Elijah. That's his name, you guys. His name is Elijah. But I had my son on January the 17th at 3:13 p.m., okay? So, let me tell you how it all went down. All right. Sorry I look a little rough, you guys, but I mean, this is all I know right now. This is all I know. All right, so on January the 17th, that's when I was actually had my scheduled C-section at my hospital. Funny thing is, my doctor that actually did my C-section, his name was Elijah, so it was pretty funny that they both had the same names. So I felt like, you know, there was God just saying, hey, baby, you gonna be all right. Elijah gonna come up in this world and he's gonna be fine. And you know what? I'm just gonna have another Elijah to deliver him, so that way you'll know. All right. Then also too, I've been hearing the name like so many times ever since we actually knew what we were gonna name our son. Honey, I kept hearing that name everywhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's his name. That's gonna be his name. So, but yeah, so I was scheduled for a C-section at 2 p.m. and we had to be at the hospital at 12. We actually got there around 12:30, 12:15, 12:30. So we were a little behind, but they were actually behind as well, because we waited in the waiting room until like roughly around 1:15. That's when we went into the recovery room, where at my hospital, everybody stays together. Mommy, daddy, and baby is in the recovery room with you at all times. So mommy, daddy, and baby is together at all times, which I love, because every other C-section that I had, which was 3 before, mommy is always by herself once the baby is delivered. I always tell my husband, hey, go follow that baby. Make sure they don't switch my baby. You make sure that we bring home the right baby, okay? But yeah, and I'll say, hey, I'm fine. I'll be in there. I'm fine. And I always went to sleep in the recovery room. But so yeah, this time around, we went into the recovery room where they had me to go to the bathroom first. And this was roughly around 1:15, 1:30. Went to the bathroom first. Then they had me to change into the hospital gown. Into the socks and everything like that. So I used everything from the hospital at that time. We did not have our bags or anything with us, because they didn't want us to carry so much at the time. So our bags and stuff was in the car while we were going ahead doing the surgery and everything. So did that. They started my IV and they put the baby on the baby monitor. And honey, the baby was like, come on, get me out of here. I'm hungry. I told y'all in the last video I was hungry. I haven't ate since, what, the night before, it was like roughly around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And then I only woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to take my medicine. So I drank some water. But other than that, I didn't have anything else to drink or eat. So, yeah, so he did that. He was, you know, moving around, moving, grooving. Heart rate was elevating. They saw I was having contractions yet again. And they were like, oh, wow, well, I'm happy you're here. And so we kept doing that. Now, in the meantime, where it gets serious and everything, my doctor, Elijah Gilbert, he came in and he explained to me, because of my history, that they're only going to give me half of the IV or the saline, instead of giving me a full bag before surgery. Normally, they'll give you a full bag of fluid before your surgery, and then they'll have you on the fluid for like roughly around 24 hours. But because I was high risk, and because my last time around I had congested heart failure because of all of the water and everything, they wanted to just give me half a bag, and then after that they were going to give me a full bag after the surgery. So we did the half a bag, and he just explained to me some things that I was not completely aware of before this. But he told me, because I was having my 4th C-section, I could have a lot of scar tissue to the point where he may not be able to tie my tubes at the same time. That right there kind of was like, boo, that's what we doing today. You know, I was like, no, I ain't, if it ain't gonna happen today, honey, that means that it ain't gonna happen. Because I'm not gonna come up in here and try to do another surgery. No, you do it all, clip, tip, whatever you gotta do all at one day. I ain't, while I'm open, you do it all. I don't have time to come back and go through another surgery and then go through another recovery, honey. So I was like, okay. This is exactly what I was looking like. Okay. But yeah, he told me about that. And then he told me about the risk of my bladder being cut and all that stuff or whatever. But he left, and he was getting himself prepared for the surgery. And so then I had 2 anesthesiologists to come in to explain to me exactly what was going on throughout the with the procedures of the surgery period. Y'all see who that is? I was trying to hide him. But yeah, so they was telling me basically how the procedure was going to go, like from A to B, from the rooter to the tutor, you know. So I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So they just made sure everything was fine. They gave me the rundown, make sure Daddy, my husband, he was in the room with me as well. He got himself prepared, and roughly around I think it was like 2:15, they was ready for me to roll out. So me and my husband did our prayers and everything. He was going with me too as well, and then they had him to sit outside of the surgery room, the operating room. All right, this is where I got a little anxious, panicky, moody attitude, like on 10, on 100. My attitude was on 100. But let me go and tell you about this part. So when I went to the back, into the operation room, basically it was time for them to put the lidocaine in my spinal and do a spinal block. Spinal block is basically where they're going to go in your lower spine and put it's like a shot. They put like a blockage between your spine, so it's between your spinal cord, goes in between it, and it was going to block me from my rib cage down. I won't be able to feel anything, only but tugging, no pain. So you guys, it took them roughly around 35 minutes to put or find the right place to put that damn needle, okay? They had me, at first I was cool, no problem. but I was having contractions as well. And the lidocaine stings like a bitch. All right. I'm not gonna bleep this out. I'm not gonna sugarcoat myself or censor myself. It hurts. It's like a bee is stinging you. And I think he stung me roughly around 15 to 20 times because it kept wearing off. And he had to go find a different spot. So roughly around, I say it was about 30 minutes. It took them about 30 minutes to find the right spot to go into. Now, thank God for Jesus that they went into the right spot. But I had to, one of the anesthesiologists came over and grabbed my head and went down and went so far down that I could barely breathe. And it started making me curse. I was like, I can't blink and breathe. You gonna have to get up off of me. I started turning into somebody that was not the nice Tira that they was already introduced to. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm tired. Like, I was sweating. I was getting anxious now because now it's like I can feel them going in there, but I'll feel it on my left or I'll feel a nerve on my right. So it was like it wasn't in the center. So we had to get chairs to try to prop my feet up and try to curve my back out because at the end of the day, my back was not curving out as like a cat will hunch their back. So my back was not curving out as far as they needed it. But my husband, he said that he was out there for a long time, which I know because, honey, we was fighting. We was fighting, okay? So they finally got it in, and then I went back. Okay, no problem. So I'm like, okay, you guys, I'm sorry. I was cursing at y'all and everything. I'm sorry. I'm telling everybody in the room that I'm sorry because I'm for real. I started getting bitchy. For real, no lie. So I'm down, no problem, right? Well, now they put the dang on drape in my face. Like, I had no breathing room at all. The drape, if I was to, it was going to go with me. Why? Why? And I told them, I said, yo, can you back this drape back? Because my hands are free. So I'm like, can you back the drape back? Can you move the drape? No, we can't move it. And so I'm like, okay, well, y'all just gonna tie me down and everything before I can say I'm comfortable. My head is turned this way. Everybody's supposed to be on this side. My husband's supposed to be on this side. The baby company's on this side. But my head is turned this way because this is where I feel comfortable. When I go this way, I don't feel comfortable. So now I'm mad about that because the drape is in my face. Y'all got me in this comfortable position, but I needed to be in this comfortable position. And so I'm like hyperventilating because the drape is in my face. Okay? Don't nobody like stuff in their face. Okay? So me and the anesthesiologist, I'm like, yo, can you back this shit back? Bruh. And he's like, ma'am, just calm down. Calm down. Everything's going to be fine. As soon as your husband come in, everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, no. Like, do you not understand what I'm saying? So then I'm still on the table and they're still getting me prepared. And I feel like I have to cough. So I'm and I said, I feel like I got a cough, but it won't come up. Y'all, I don't make this shit up. This is me. So I'm like, I got a cough. And he said, do you feel like you got to throw up? I said, no, I said I got a cough. Do you feel nauseated at all, ma'am? No, sir, I have to cough. And so I cough. I said, oh. He came over with a green bag. And I started throwing up. And I said, I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to throw up, sir. I'm sorry. He was like, no, it's no problem. It's no problem. Everybody goes through this. And so he gave me some nausea medicine. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know that I had to throw up. So he just kept the bag right here. So I'm still leaning this side. But my husband's supposed to come this way. And so then they let him in. And I'm like, finally. So I'm trying to turn my head, go this way. So as soon as he came in, just like the anesthesiologist said, everything just went away. I was so happy to see my husband. And I think that it was just because I was in there by myself with about 10 people, which I think it was about roughly around seven people in the operating room. But I was in there by myself, and I didn't have anybody in my corner, you know? So as soon as I saw my husband, he held my hand and everything. Everything went away. I did tell him about the drape. I was like, can you move the drape out my face? So he was like, yeah, it is in your face. And I was like, yeah, it is. But that went well. Then we were talking, everything. Then we had our baby at 313. He weighed 7 pounds, 13 ounces, honey. That's crazy. All these threes. But yeah. So he weighed 7 pounds, 13 ounces. And came out loud, honey. And he looked so chunky. I got that picture on my last video, so just check that out. But and then the doctor, while we were paying attention to my son, he did say, okay, he was able to start untying my tubes because there was no scar tissue in the area that he had to go in. So that was amazing that there was no scar tissue in the area that he had to go into to get my tubes tied, because, honey, he tied them tubes. And let me tell you, tying tubes is literally tying your tubes, okay? I felt a big knot, and I was like, whoa. And I said, so you're physically tying my tubes? And he was like, yeah, that's how it goes. I didn't know that, y'all. I thought it was a figment of speech. I didn't know. I didn't know that they were literally going to tie your tubes. But yeah, they did that. Once they finished that, so my surgery itself was like roughly around 2 hours when you calculate the spinal issue and tie my tubes. Yeah, so it was additional 30 minutes, so it's like 2 hours long. But other than that, we had a healthy baby boy. My tubes was tied. Everything actually went well. Okay, everything went well. After I left there, we actually went to the recovery room where we had to stay an hour. And so we stayed in an hour. I was able to nurse in the recovery room. They still had my IVs going, and they also gave him his necessary shots that he had to take as well. So everything was basically done in the recovery room while we were still having our family time. So that was amazing, because normally in the recovery room that I remember is just me by myself. They put blankets on me and I'm asleep for an hour, and they check on me, and then I'm fine. So that was pretty cool that I was able to stay up the entire time, nurse my baby, actually talk to the doctors after that. They let me know how everything went. And they asked me questions too, as well as how was I feeling, was I still nauseated or anything like that. So other than that, my labor and delivery actually went very well. It was just a spinal issue that I was having, and then also too as well my attitude. But it was because of anxiety and all of that good jazz. But let me introduce you to the man of the hour. He is currently asleep, so let me get him up. All right, so hey, you guys, this is the man of the hour, Mr. Elijah. You sleepy? Hi, EJ. Can you say hey to the people? Oh, don't cry. This is my baby boy. Yeah. And look at his hair, you guys. His hair is like in a wrap. And he's so light. You okay? EJ. All right. I'm just going to hold him like this. He's so tired, y'all. But yeah, so this is the man of the hour. This is Elijah. He is currently a week old. Yeah. Hey, say hey. Say hey to the people. Can you say hey? You don't want to say hey to the camera? Say hey to the camera. I know. Oh no. But yes, this is my baby boy Elijah. He has been nursing too as well, honey. So he's up, but he is very alert. Very. Can you say hey to the people? Aww. He hungry. All right, you guys. So this is the product of all of these videos, honey. And so thank y'all so much for watching. Say like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching. And oh, I have an update story too as well, just to let y'all know exactly what's going on or what has happened or transpired. I gotta get this password. Alright, so yeah, so after this video, I am going to have a update video to let y'all know exactly what transpired within his first week and my recovery as well. Because, honey, I got something to say about my recovery. Y'all see this? He's been here before, honey. He knows how to hold his head up. He's been holding his head up since he's been out the womb. He has an attitude sometimes. But then my baby. Ain't that white? Ain't that white, man? He's sleepy. He's been up all night. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.